Welcome everybody to the class. In this lecture particularly we will discuss about the very important aspect of the bacterial growth calculations. So we will have this 3-4 topic to be covered in this lecture. Most of all deal with the way of calculating the bacteria. We have the Braid's method, hemocytometer, Calder counter, plate count, and the membrane filter count methods. So these are all methods are particularly dealing with the way to calculate the amount of a bacteria or the number of a bacteria present into the the medium. So in case of when we are doing the quantitative measurement of a bacteria, we generally have two types of method. Either we count the live cell of a bacteria, that comes under the direct count, and sometimes instead of calculating the bacteria we calculate or we count the number of the colonies, so that becomes the indirect count method. So these are the two types of a method. One is the direct count method where we count the cells of a bacteria, and in indirect counting method where we count the colonies instead of the bacteria. So with these two types of method we will see how we will determine the number of bacteria present in the particular sample. In direct count method, first method is the Braid method. Now the Braid method is actually deals with the addition of a particular amount of a aliquot of a bacteria over the glass slide, and that glass slide is then particularly stained, fixed, and then observed under the oil immersion objective. Well, since the smear is on the slide, so to observe the every part of a smear is quite difficult. It's practically not possible. So generally what we do, we will observe only a sum or a one microscopic field. Okay, the field of a microscope. Then we will determine the total number of bacteria into that particular microscopic field. So it is calculated by the total number of microscopic field per square centimeter of the cell population. So very simple method is there. What we are going to do here is adding a small amount of bacteria on a glass slide, then observe the glass slide under the oil immersion objective, calculating the number of bacteria into the particular microscopic field. So to calculate this bacteria we should know these two things, particularly the area of microscopic field and the area of the smear. These two things are very important to calculate the total number of bacteria present into the smear or the sample. So first we will calculate the microscopic field area. Okay, it is actually the pi r square. Now the pi r square will give you the total area of a microscopic field. So pi value we know this, r is what? It is the area or the diameter of this microscopic field, which is generally 0.008 millimeter. Okay, so with this, calculating this total, we will get this 0.02 millimeter square. So this is the total area of the microscopic field. Okay, second is important, it is the area of the smear. Now to calculate the total area of the smear, okay, so generally it is 1 centimeter square. So when it convert to the millimeter square, it become 100. This is the standard area of a particular smear, right? So the number of total microscopic field it can be obtained with this area of the smear and the area of the microscopic field. Okay, so total number of the microscopic field can be known by these two factors. Okay, so area of the smear is 100 as we have converted into this millimeter square, and 0.02 it is what? It is the area of microscopic field. So total it become 5000 number of microscopic field which are present on a single glass slide. Okay, so we don't need to calculate or count the all 5000 microscopic field from the slides. Okay, we can just observe these cells into one microscopic field, that will become the total number of the microscopic field in fact. Okay, so this area of microscopic field, it is important, and the area of the smear. Okay, so we have easily converted these two things. Third is what? We are actually gonna calculate the total number of bacteria present into the sample, right? So what generally we do, we count the number of the bacteria in a one particular microscopic field, that is become the average number of the bacteria, okay, multiplied by the total number of the microscopic field, that is the 5000. Sorry, this is 5000, it should be there, right? So in this way, the total number of the cells per centimeter square, that is the total number of bacteria in the smear, can be easily calculated. So say suppose there are the in a one particular microscopic field, we count the bacteria say 5000 or say 2000. So 2000 here, 2000 multiplied by the 500, so this become the total number of the cells into your smear, right? So in this way we can calculate the total number of the bacteria present into the your sample or the medium. So exactly what we need to observe here, one is the your area, second is the area of the smear. These two things are very very important. Area of the microscopic field can be calculated by the pi r square, and area of the smear is 1 centimeter square standard. We can convert it to the millimeter square, you will get the value of this, right? Then finally we have to count the number of the bacteria present in one microscopic field, multiply by the 5000. So what is we will get? We will get the total number of the cells per centimeter square. Okay? So instead of observing every microscopic field, we just count the cells into one microscopic field, which is very similar to the example like a piece of rice is cooked, that means the whole rice is cooked, right? So from this logic we can count the bacterial cells in one microscopic field, so we will have the total number of microscopic field information is here, right? The total number of area of the microscopic field. So in this way we can calculate the total number of the cells present into the smear. Okay, this is called the Brett's method. Counting chamber method is another method. Okay, this is called the Petroff-Hauser chamber. Okay, more commonly it is called the hemocytometer. Okay, this particular the instrument is actually using for the blood counting, that's why it is called the hemocytometer. Now this here you can see this particular hemocytometer is actually made up of a glass, okay, and onto that glass at the center there are certain squares are marked or etched, or they printed on the particular surface over the glass, okay, and each square they have their known area, okay, that means the area of every square is already known, so we can easily count the cells and then can calculate the total number of the bacteria. So onto this particular area the squares are marked here like this, you can see this is, okay, there are several squares and we can count the cells into each of the squares. The area of the squares is already known, okay. So when what we have to do, we have to take the small amount of the bacterial aliquot and we have to add here, right? Then they spread like this, okay. That means when we add the bacterial culture, we have to put the cover slip, the drop of the bacterial culture completely sprayed, okay, and then we have to calculate the number of bacteria in each squares, right? So in this way you can get this like this. So you have to count the number of the bacteria into each square, okay? So generally bacteria can be seen through the microscope like this. As we know, the area is already known, so we can easily calculate the total number of bacteria present into the each cells, right? So that's what exactly the hemocytometer is. A ready-made available instrument. It's a glass slide kind of a kind little bit thick, and there are the each area, sorry, each squares are already marked there. We have to simply put the your bacterial sample there and count the colonies into each squares. This is very simple. Third is the Coulter counter. Okay, this is actually an electronic instrument, and this electronic instrument is actually divided into two chambers. Okay, and this is exactly this, and the chamber is here. There is a semi-permeable membrane or the pores are available. So what generally we do, we add the bacterial cell suspension into this chamber. They flow through these pores and come down in this particular area. So okay, there is a flow of the bacterial cell from top to the bottom. While in there is one extra arrangement has been made. It is the laser light. This laser light is passed through the instrument, okay, and which is detected by the detector here. So when the cells transfer through the pores, the laser light pass through them, and then that laser light is detected by the detector, and the amount of the display is here. It given one bacteria passes, one display, number one is count. Like this can be displayed on the screen. So the mechanism is what? When the laser light actually passes through the pores, if it hits the bacteria, that is the bacteria that is passing out, if it hit, the data will be detected. That means that laser light data which hits the bacteria is detected and display here in the form of a number. Okay, so this is automatically operating instrument, and thousands of the cells in a few seconds can be calculated. The accuracy is very precise, because since it is based with the laser diode and the detector systems. Okay, so this is the Coulter counter instrument, where the bacterial cells, when they pass through the pores, okay, they strike with the laser light. That laser light is actually detected by the detectors, and the number of cells is displayed on the screen. So this was the Coulter counter chamber method. So these are the three direct methods. Okay, one is the Breed method, second is the counting chamber method, and third is the Coulter counter method. Now we will see the indirect method. In case of an indirect method, bacteria are not counted because the cells, because the colonies are counted. It is assumed that the one colony is produced from the one bacteria, right? So this is what become the indirect count. Instead of counting the cell directly, you can count the colonies. First method in this particularly, it is a plate count method or the colony count method. This is quite simple method, where generally the original inoculum, that is the parental stock culture, it is diluted. The parental stock culture is diluted with what? With 9 ml of the distilled water. Okay, so 1 ml of this stock culture and the 9 ml of the distilled water. So the dilution become 1:100. Okay, so dilution, and the 1 ml sample is diluted 10 times. Then same, out of this we will transfer the 1 ml again, and then diluted to another 9 ml distilled water. The dilution become 1:100. That is it is get 100 times diluted. Serially from this to this we will dilute again. The dilution on successive transfer get increased. Okay, so on and so on. That means 1 ml from each dilution is transferred to the next dilutions. So the dilution successively increase. So the idea of diluting successively is because from the first test tube, the number of bacteria will get reduced in the second, will get reduced in the third, and will get reduced in the fourth, and so on. So the number of bacteria we are actually reducing by the dilutions. What generally we do, we take the 1 ml of the liquid from each of the tube to the petri plates here. Okay, so we'll prepare a nutrient agar plate. Okay, and then we add the 1 ml of the aliquot from each of the tubes, okay, and then sprayed with the spreader, and then all these plates then we will incubate with the at 24 degrees centigrade, and then generally after incubation we will find the number of the colonies which are produced irrespective with the particular dilution tubes, okay. Here in this you can see this, the number of colonies is quite high in case of the first dilution. So dilution is just 10 time, right? So 10 time dilution means there are more bacteria, so you will see the very compact overcrowded growth here of bacteria. So this you cannot count this particular plate. As the dilution goes on successively increasing, the number of the bacteria goes decreasing. That means there are less bacteria. So when we see about the last tubes where the dilution is very high, means the bacteria are the less. So we will get the very well isolated couple of colonies at the last dilution. Okay. So as the dilution increases, the number of bacteria decreases. Here in this plate after incubation you can see this, the more compacted growth, quite compacted growth. Then you get here the dilution increases, the number of the bacteria also decreases. So you have the less bacteria here and the less bacteria here. So we will select the plate on this like this, and we can count easily colonies on the last dilution. So this is called the plate dilution, where the number of the bacteria can be easily counted according to their the dilutions. Okay. So this was the plate count method. This method is actually the last method for the indirect count of the bacterial cells. It is called membrane filter count. Membrane filter is actually the assembly is like this, and this assembly is actually attached with the vacuum pump. This is the vacuum. Now this vacuum is actually helps in the suction of the sample which is present in this beaker, right? And in between somewhere here we generally put we put the membrane which is having the small pores that generally filter out the bacteria, right? So what this is you can see this is the membrane filter, okay, mostly made up of the cellulosic matrix material. This actually retains the bacterial cells. So we put first what we'll put this membrane filter over the disc like this, and then we will add our sample with the bacteria, okay, and then through the vacuum or the suction we the whole liquid medium from the top it is comes to the bottom, that is under the suction pressure it moves down. After all the mediums move down, the bacteria returns on this filter, okay? Only the water molecule can pass, but the bacteria they get attached or they return on the filter paper here. Now simply what we'll do next, we'll take out this filter paper and then put onto the nutrient agar plates. Now this nutrient agar plates with this filter paper membrane, after the incubation will give you the particular number of the colonies like this here, okay. So these colonies can be produced after the incubation. So here we can easily count the number of the colonies because there is the well isolated colonies. So this means the sample will has consisted of the very small number of the bacteria, therefore we get the well isolated colonies, right? So this is what the membrane filter counting method. Simply it is the assembly which consists of the membrane filter, mostly made up of the cellulosic matrix. This filter actually retains the bacteria. So we'll pour the bacterial sample over the filter, the liquid sample they drain off, and over the filter paper the bacteria they get retained. We'll take out that filter paper membrane and put onto the nutrient agar plates. We incubate the plate with the filter paper, and then finally we'll get the well isolated colonies onto the agar plate. In that isolated colony can be counted. So this is what the basic mechanism of this membrane filter counted. So this is what overall different counting methods of the particularly bacterial cell counting methods, right? So overall in this lecture what we have understand, it is the ways of calculating the number of bacteria into particular samples. So this breed method, hemocytometer, Coulter counter, plate count in the membrane filter. Breed method, we count based on the number of the microscopic field in the area of the smear. Hemocytometer is actually the glass slide on which the squares are marked, and we can count the cells into each squares. Coulter counter is an electronic apparatus which digitally count the cells according to the laser light detection. Plate count is a serial dilution way of counting the bacteria. And the membrane filter assembly that retains the bacteria on the filter, and then on incubation we can count the colonies. So these are all the 5 different ways of calculating the bacterial cells. Okay. So this is all about today's lecture. We will continue with the another lecture. Perhaps this could be the very few last topics of this unit 1, and then soon we will done with this one, and we will begins with the unit 2. So this is all for the today. Thank you.